everything that you want to learn is meant to be dressed as a sort of profession. It's a thing that you can learn the aptitude for in the world, and it's the same for the journeys. So you can see we have journeys like warrior, archer, tanner, and if you go down deeper and deeper, you get into things like sorcerer, raider, uh, you know, dismantling, using a dismantling bench. It touches a lot of the game, and we took what was there and we tried to use as much as we could, but we had to wind up making a lot of new things to make the journey actually possible. Um, so I'll dig a little deeper into this UI as well. Everyone always starts out with this first one. And on the Exiled Lands, it's like Exiled Land Survivor. On the island, it's Island Survivor. And you can see there's a lot of information here as well. Some little text about what you'll be learning in that journey, what kind of reward you'll get for finishing it. And then we've got the actual list of steps, and each of those steps have
Olá,
details as
pessoal,
well.
consegui abrir
So,
aqui.
we hope that we've worded these in
Tava
such a way that
demorando,
you
né? Deu uma
learn why you're
atrasadinha, eu
doing what
tava
you're doing
atualizando ali,
and help
mas aí eu consegui
learn
abrir.
other things that you
É,
maybe
vocês
can
estão
start
escutando o
with
meu
based on what
áudio?
you've
Tá
learned
tudo bem o
before.
áudio?
The initial journeys are extremely detailed, and they will tell you like what buttons to press to do things. And as you get further and further into the game, they hold your hand less because we expect you've learned some things
Vou
early
compartilhar
on.
lá o link com o
Um,
pessoal, para eles
Another
já
thing you'll see is on
chegarem.
this first one, we didn't want veteran players to have to commit to doing the tutorial every time, and the first journey is really a tutorial. So if you're a veteran player, you can come down and actually hit the button to skip the first one.
Where the camera's overlapping the button to skip it, but underneath Dennis and I, there's a button that. Hold on, let me see if I can.
Yeah, there's literally a button to skip the journey. So it's only available on the first one, and I'll go through a couple steps and then come back to this menu first, but you'll see it's really similar to what you would experience in normal gameplay, and we just want to teach you how to do things, like how to pick up things
Eles
and
estão
search
aí de
bodies in
Cipita.
chests and
Aí eles estavam
containers.
falando
So
de
this
umas
one's asking you to look for
jornadas,
some
tipo
things
tarefas que a gente
and
vai ter que
interact with
fazer.
them, and then it'll advance just like you would expect the journey to advance. All the journeys are all now completed in linear order as well.
Ah, que bom, o áudio tá bom.
You won't have some steps solving before other steps, and you might not accidentally solve a step. You'll very specifically have to come into the menu and say, I would like to do this journey. I would like to learn to do this thing. So you won't be doing the Island Survivor journey and then get stuff way down in like farmer
Valeu,
or,
Arthur.
or sorcerer solving because you've picked up some resources.
Seja
Just
bem-vindo,
seeing that,
Arthur, Iago,
you get
Pietro.
some stuff in your
Sejam todos
inventory that'll help you along
bem-vindos.
some of the journeys. Like if I need to eat and drink, there's always more information there. And that'll teach you how to survive in the game and the
Eu
base
dei uma
systems that you need
atrasada, ô Arthur. Eu
to
tava tentando
literally learn
ali.
survival,
Eu
eating,
me
drinking,
atrapalhei nesse negócio do YouTube.
primarily
Nem foi
making a
tanto
spawn point,
o
crafting from your
OBS, sim o
inventory.
YouTube ali,
But if
pra
you've done that a
começar.
million times and you want to skip it, you click the button.
Olha, são umas
It'll ask
jornadas
if
que
you're
eles
sure
estão
you want to
falando que
skip
a
it.
gente vai ter
You won't
que
get the reward if
fazer.
you skip it, so you can't
Aí
use
tem
it
que
to just
fazer uma
farm
primeiro
the
pra estar
caches.
desbloqueando a
And then
outra.
some more
E
stuff will
assim
unlock. And
sucessivamente.
if you complete journeys naturally, you'll get these notifications as well, where new journeys, or one journey has completed and a new one unlocks. There are also prerequisites to journeys. So the warrior one requires that we unlock the knowledge. Part of the first tutorial is learning how to unlock knowledge, so you should know how to do that. And that's a good example of how we
Ô
teach you
Pietro, como é
something
que
and
tá a
expect you to
qualidade
carry that
da
knowledge over
tela? Lembra
into
que naquela outra
later
que eu transmiti,
journeys.
ela ficava
So again,
tendo
there's one for
uns
double shirking.
congelamentos? Pra vocês está tendo
When you finish
congelamento
that
ou
one,
tá tudo
it'll allow
certo?
you to go on to a later level of building as well. A better example, I guess, is Mason. We also have these journeys tiered out. So you get the Mason one, and then once you complete Mason, it'll have some new prerequisites, but another thing it'll do is unlock Mason 2. And then you can learn to build tier 2 buildings and so on for tier 3. And those are hidden, so you can't see them here right now. There's more journeys than you can actually see. Because we are able to just hide ones that you don't meet the bog standard requirements for.
There's a quick question.
Yeah.
Will the journeys be
E pelo que eu tô vendo ali, gente, essa
I'd have to see how
jornada,
much effort we put into
ela
making
não
it
é só uma
mountable.
missão não, ó.
For those of you
São
who
várias, tá vendo
know
ali no
Rob,
canto, bem aqui, ó.
he is the person that worked on
Parece
this
que são várias
most,
jornadas que a
and
gente tem
he
que
is a
fazer pra
big
completar
mod
pra estar
supporter
liberando a outra.
and modder himself as well. So I believe there will be mod capability here, but I can't give the absolute definite answer right now.
I also saw a question in chat asking, will there be different journeys for the two maps, and the tutorial journey will be different between SIPTA and the Exiled Lands. So the SIPTA one, of course, will say Island Survivor as you've seen. And if you,
Não vou poder
when you're creating a new
acompanhar, só vou
character in
deixar
Exile
like
Lands,
e o
you'll
intervalo já
have an Exile Land
acabou.
specific
Até onde eu percebi, mas...
initial
então tá bom.
introductory journey
Também.
bit as well. That's a little bit different
Porque
from
pra mim aquela
the
vez
like,
não
current
tava
version
travando, mas pra galera
live right
tava.
now.
There are
Aí,
these ones as well.
mas
You
se
know,
pra você
yeah,
até agora
my
não
we
tá
can't ask you
travando,
to
acho que não
discover
vai
a lot of
travar
different points in a
mais.
map that you're not on. So where it's appropriate, we make ones that are specific for a specific map.
Yeah, but generally speaking, yeah, all these various like paths that you can take, whichever like whatever goals that you want to set for yourself, is shared between like the two maps with only just some exceptions. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it's similar to the old journey system as well, where we had some that were just on SIPTA. Or it was really just one. But
Yeah.
Boa tarde,
And I saw
Paty.
someone
Seja
ask on YouTube also,
bem-vinda.
like, you will not need to buy SIPTA to like
Kátia,
have
agora
access
as
to this
nossas
event.
jornadas vai ser
Just seeing Island
bastante,
Survivor,
ó.
'cause we just started on Isle SIPTA. Because my
Cada
seed game on the
cartinha
Exile
dessa
Lands
que
is
você
other
tá
stuff
vendo,
that we
cada
wanted to show.
imagem
Yeah,
dessa
okay.
que a
So
gente
we
tá
really
vendo
wanna
do
reveal
lado
what character I'm
esquerdo aí
making.
da
I don't know if you'd
tela
like to take any other.
é
If
uma
you have any
jornada
questions
que a
yourself
gente tem que
about the system, or
completar
if you
para
want to answer
liberar
anything
uma
else we
outra.
covered
E não é
for
só
too
uma
long.
Yeah, I'm
jornada,
just
não.
looking over
Uma
chat right now.
jornada
Yeah,
são
like
várias
so, like,
jornadas
this is something
ligadas
that we
uma na
wanted to
outra.
do
Pelo que eu tô
for
entendendo,
a
né?
really long time. And in addition to offering some
Bonita
additional
aquela
assistance for like
katana,
new
né?
players to like kind of get situated into the game, we wanted to also add various other things for more seasoned players to still kind of again like setting your own goals and like figuring out like which things you want to like prioritize on or like do things for, and because
Eles
we
fizeram um
offer
revamp
rewards now for
das
completing
jornadas
the various journey
antigas.
steps.
Agora elas vão incluir coisas de
We feel confident that
feitiçaria
like
e outras
even the most
coisas
like
até.
grizzled of
Daqui a
Exile
pouco meu
Lands
chefe puxa
veterans
minha
will
orelha e
get
desculpa.
something out of this new system.
Não, fala
Quick
pra
question,
ele não fazer isso, não.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll take
Yeah, that's
Nossa,
fine.
olha aquela
Yeah,
espada ali, gente, que bonita.
The rewards, is it one time
Eu
only, or
nunca
every time
vi
you make a
ela
new
aqui.
save?
Armas novas, hein?
Per character.
Just in case people couldn't hear in the back there. Yeah,
Tomara
so
que
it's,
seja bem melhor que
will the
as
rewards from
duas
the journey
últimas.
system be
Ah,
per
é,
character
Kátia.
or like once per
Mas
account?
eu
You
acho
said
que
it's
esse
per
daí não tem
character,
nada
right?
Yeah,
a
each time
ver
you create a character, you have the opportunity to
com...
get them. And I
Será
can
que
kind of skim through and you
são
can see
os detalhes do
there are some
passe?
interesting rewards on here.
Será que não são
We did,
aquelas
you know,
jornadas? São aquelas
kind of
jornadas, Kátia,
different
quando a gente
variations on
começa,
some of these
sabe?
skills
É
like you would typically
derrolamento,
expect from the shop, right? There's no kind
chute,
of real power or
coma.
anything in the rewards that you get, but they're things that
São
might look
aquelas
cool
jornadas, não
or
tem
help you a little bit
ainda
along the way.
Yeah,
nada
it's
a
still
ver
like a
assim com o
unique reward that you
passe.
get out of the journey system, and like
Yeah.
we wanted to also make the rewards meaningful.
Eles
So like
deram
some of,
uma
and some of the ones you'll see
recapitulada
like, oh,
naquilo
you
lá.
get a
Tomara
supply
que eles
material or
tiraram,
like some
né?
exotic
Aquela
meat, but then
jornada de
like
pisar no
you
elefante.
see like you saw like
Nem era jornada, né? Era
down there
pra
like you
platinar
get
aquilo
epic
lá.
items, for example. So
People are begging you to drink something.
well, the character's dying of thirst.
Also, people are wondering if things complete, like, if you're level 60, do you have to do those things over again?
So the question is if you're already max level,
Or not even just max level, but just like if you've done some of the journey steps.
So okay, so are the various journey steps like retroactive, or
Yes.
do you once it goes live, do you have to complete everything from the start?
Any journey progress you have in the game right now is just going to be gone whenever the update comes out, and you'll start fresh with the whole new system. And that's for a couple reasons, and one of the biggest ones is just so
Kátia,
you
o
don't miss
começo,
anything. Like we don't rob
eles
you of
estavam
any
explicando
rewards
isso
or
mesmo.
experiences or learning that
Que
you might
eles
not already
fizeram
have. The context of the old journey
rework,
system is
deram
much
uma
different than the new
repaginada
journey
no
system.
passe,
So
nas
in
jornadas,
many
quer dizer,
cases, we wouldn't even really be able to
e
map
que uma
progress one to
jornada
one from
só
one
vai
to the
ser
other.
possível fazer
But
quando
another cool
você
thing about
terminar o
this system
anterior.
is some things will be
Naquelas jornadas que a
retroactively
gente
rewarded.
tem
So there are
atualmente,
some
dá pra
steps in the
gente estar
journey
pulando
system that
jornadas e
you
fazendo
may
as jornadas
complete.
lá da frente, né?
Um,
Agora não, você vai ser obrigatório
I can give a
completar a
really easy
primeira
example.
jornada para
In the
depois
Exiled
fazer as
Lands, we ask
outras.
you to
Até
leave
agora
the
foi
starting
isso.
desert at a certain point.
E ali no
Now,
cantinho
if
eu tô
you
vendo
leave the
umas
starting
armas
desert before
diferentes.
you get to
Agora
that point in the journey and you go about
eu
doing
tô
the other steps,
achando que pra
that
gente
goal to
conseguir
leave the
aqueles
journey will
itens
solve
que tá ali no canto
retroactively.
direito,
So there are some
igual
things
aqui essa
in the
caixa
journey we can
de
detect you've
material,
done and just not
tem que
ask you to do
completar
them
essa
because we know
jornada.
you already know how to do it. It's
Salve,
in pretty
Coringa,
specific
seja
cases. For the
bem-vindo.
most part, you're going to be asked to follow the steps.
Excellent. So I'm just looking over some chat stuff right now. A lot of folks are saying, yeah, this looks really cool. Glad that there's something for even veteran players to get. Other people just saying hello. Let's see. Is the Mummy of the Ring still in the journey steps?
I don't think you'll see that at all. We chose not to include kind of narrative-oriented stuff to start with. Another cool thing about the system is that we made it to be really expandable. So whenever we do new chapters, new updates, things that'll stick around in the game will probably also get a
FUNCON, já
journey
tá
that
bom
comes
desse
along with it.
detalhe. Vamos já pros
Um,
outros. A gente quer saber da joia
Yeah,
vermelha.
Mummy of the Ring.
Rip.
It's not content we'll have implemented, and you'll see as we talk more about this chapter, but that is still a sort of dangling thread for us. Will admins be able to spawn in the special items from it? Yeah, they'll be in the admin panel just like anything else. So if there's a reward in there you don't want to have to do the journey, you can just spawn it as an admin. And you guys will learn, you know, what kind of rewards come from what journeys.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of stuff in here, though. I mean, there's even like armor sets, and you know, there's armor sets, weapons, different consumables. If the game has it, the journey system pretty much has it as well.
Now, are these recipes or is it actual just like gear?
I'd have to double check. Knowing that Rob worked on it, there's probably a recipe that goes along, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
But it would be, if there's not recipes already, we'll get them in eventually.
Cool.
Right now we're a bit past the translation deadline to add any additional items, so.
Oh right, yeah, because this is like
on the doorstep. Yeah,
yep,
it's gonna be soon.
Soon.
When you claim it, it'll go into your inventory.
Yeah, right into your inventory.
Yeah, it'll just go straight to your inventory. Cool. Okay. And then yeah, like,
Olá,
we'll
Fernando, seja
open some time up,
bem-vindo.
towards the end of the stream also to recap a couple things if you have any other questions
Fernando,
about anything we covered
no
here,
começo
we'll
aí,
answer what we
você
can.
chegou agora? Aquelas jornadas
So
que a gente
yes,
tem
very good,
atualmente,
very
que é
good.
dê um rolamento, vai a algum
Apart
acampamento,
from
eles
the
mudaram.
genie system,
Você só vai conseguir completar uma jornada
this, of
depois
course, is just
que
like a
a jornada
blanket
da
update
frente
that's
depois que
available, that's coming
terminar a
up
anterior.
with the next update. It's
E
available for
tem
everyone who
prêmios
wanted to, like, do anything or
quando
get anything
terminam as
special.
jornadas.
Just
São
grab one.
Yeah, whenever
aqueles
we get into
aqui
the
no
stuff
cantinho
that
direito, ó. Que cada jornada vai ter um prêmio.
You know, battle pass and
E ficou bem, visivelmente, ficou bem mais interessante, né, gente, com essas imagens aí. Até agora eles comentaram isso, Fernando, que eu tô entendendo.
Kind of on that note, of course, with Chapter 3 will come with new story steps, new battle pass items, new bazaar items, of course. We can show some of those lovely things off, but first, let's talk about more gameplay things that are being added with the update. So, Chapter 3 is focused around the kind of like the culmination of Mecha Moses' work, working to like sniff out the secrets and delve into just like what's going on with this, just what's going on in the Exiled Lands, where the sorcery is coming from, where the source of its power is coming from, and I think we will have some of those answers with this update. We're not going to show everything off today, obviously, too. You'll just have to see for yourself.
We're going to certainly show some stuff.
We're going to show some stuff off for sure. So first, do you want to show off? You want to take a look over, visit our good friend Mecha Moses and see his new revamped crib?
Absolutely. Yeah. Would you like to hide while I switch maps?
I would love to. My stain gone? Okay, good. I'm thirsty, I'm sorry! Hey, listen. Okay, I will say, I just got, I finally have been, I've been shown the light of spinner rings, like fidget rings. Because some of you who know me or may have seen me on camera know that I have a tendency to like pick at my mustache or play with it when I'm like deep in thought, you know? So I got one of these things now. I can kind of, I can play with my fingers and stim without having to play with my mustache.
Será que ele tá tomando, hein, gente?
So yeah, what we're doing right now, we're loading up into the Exiled Lands and heading over to Mecha Moses' Spire, which has received some enhancements, some changes to its appearance. Oh, nice. I'm gonna switch back over here.
All right.
Olha essa armadura nova, gente.
Welcome to the Spire. So there's going to be some stuff coming in this update that will change the way some things are presented. One of the first things you'll see is there's this really big beam in the sky. We have removed some other beams from the game that you might see as, you know, decorative skylights of sorts, to make it so that when we have events like this, it really stands out that there's something happening that draws your attention.
Like, hey, come over
Armadura
here. There's something
nova.
interesting here.
Yeah, exactly. So
Armas
you can see
novas.
this from really far back, even in the starting desert, you'll see it on the horizon. And, you know, it's kind of
Gente, é
ushering you
local novo,
forward
né?
to
Eu não
find
tô conseguindo
how and
distinguir
where
onde
the
é
story
aí.
is unfolding. For anyone who hasn't seen Metcomos' Spire before, usually looks much different than this. You can see there's a lot of defenses. A lot of the Catan exiles are here. One of the first things you might notice is that this guy's dressed up.
É aí onde eu de religião de
We
Sete,
wanted
não
to
é,
have these guys
pessoal?
in uniform from the beginning. We had a technical hurdle that prevented us from putting Battle Pass and Bazaar items on NPCs, essentially. So we're over that now. And if we continue up to the top of the spire, you'll find our new buddy, Metcomos, is decked
Got some
out.
new digs.
And he's also found a new friend that he has tied up to his lovely altar, which is what the giant beam is coming from. So you guys will also be able to explore some new dialogue.
E olha aquela joia vermelha, gente, que eles estavam fazendo aquele suspense.
Need to hop into his dialogue right now. We can just save it as a surprise. But Metcomos will pretty much tell you that there's these fancy new rocks that you can go find, and if you bring them back to him, similar to headhunting in Chapter 2, you'll get a nice reward for doing that. He'll also ask for something else. And before I tell you what that is, we'll go back to the red stones themselves. So the red stones are called blood crystals. And blood crystals.
Vocês estão observando as armas? E até na armadura, no centro da armadura e nas armas tem detalhes vermelhos. Essa armadura e essas armas aí devem ter alguma ligação com essa nova parte aí do Metcomos.
Extremely powerful sorcerers, and their blood has essentially returned to the surface and animates things that it touches. So now that might give some more context to understand why there is a golem system coming, which some of you may have seen represented in my armor or in some of the updates we put out this morning.
Lá no centro da armadura.
You'll be able to go out,
armadura feia.
harvest the blood crystals.
Eu não gostei, parece martelo,
we'll talk a bit about
capacete.
that as well. Bring them back to Metcomos with his sick mask, and you know, get those rewards and participate in another little activity. So, blood crystals, how do I get them?
How do you get blood crystals? How do you harvest the blood of the giant kings from the earth?
Yeah, that's right. So you'll be able to find the resource like you would with other resources using the spell to detect resources. They'll be represented as as sort of red underneath the ground. You'll see red resources. I'm not going to go hunt them out now for sake of time because it is random whether or not you'll find them. But I will show you some stuff. There are two versions of finding and harvesting these, and I'm actually going to need a pick as well.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. Use a pickaxe, that's fine.
Ele também gosta daquela machadoreta.
So as I mentioned, the blood crystal brings things to life. So whenever you use detect resources to find the blood crystal, you're not just finding the resource embedded in the ground, you're also finding
whatever it's attached to.
Right?
Whatever it's grown into, yeah.
So we'll go here, spawn some stuff. And the first version is a lovely friend you guys will surely recognize.
Será que é um novo material, gente, essa pedra vermelha? Olha lá o chifre é diferente. E tem detalhes da pedra vermelha.
You can harvest his corpse to get the blood crystals.
Olha lá, veio.
Encumbered again.
All this golem equipment is very heavy.
Yeah, we got some
we got a lot of stuff lugging around.
So the rock nose was the second one we made. And the first one we made, we wanted it to be a bigger challenge. And we realized we had to offer that earlier in the game. So the rock nose was a bit of a fallback. Actually, sorry, that's the wrong one.
Ele invocou grande agora.
Oh, really quick also, is it possible to tame the blood rock noses and make them your pets?
I don't think we put a recipe on for that.
Okay.
No. So what you'll normally be finding in higher level areas is straight up animated earth golem, and you can see the blood crystal in his heart, like heart in
NPC
his
é
chest there.
diferente.
And it's the same deal as the rock nose. Whenever you kill him, you get to harvest his resources and bring it back for a reward, or keep it for yourself. So
you can't have this specific enemy as
Será
a
que dá
pet.
pra farmar o corpo dele? Mata ele pra
Someone
gente
did
ver.
ask, yeah. Nivorbian asks, can you keep a golem as a pet? Not that one, but
wait,
there's more.
Yeah, so I'll come up here to back up to Metcomos' spire. So, you know, he wants the blood crystal because he's trying to perform a certain ritual. You know, he's got his princess tied up here. One of the really fun things we did with her is she's also voice acted, so you'll hear her randomly screaming obscenities at Metcomosis, you know, cursing him. And
yeah, she's pretty mad about being
not happy to be tied
Você
up.
viu, Adri?
See, if you read that subtitle there,
Tem
you know, you can see
bichinhos
about how
novos
happy
de
she is.
pedra aí.
And there's another person at
E ele
Metcomosis
farmou um lá e veio essa
and he has
pedra
a little bit
nova
more
aí. Nossa,
information
esse
about the
avatar aí.
golems themselves. So this is another Catan exile who has started using that blood crystal that's used to make his altar.
Bancada
And, you
nova.
know, he is essentially obsessed with the art of carving golems and using that blood crystal to make something, you know, really amazing. He will also be able to teach you how to make your own golems. So there's different power levels of golems, and we'll get into that further. And the player will be capable of making pretty crude ones. And when you go out on an adventure into the world, doing things like dungeons and killing bosses, you'll start to find higher level parts that you can't craft, but you can use in the crafting process. So this guy also has a whole set of voice
Eu não
acting
gostei muito
to go
dessa
along with
armadura,
him,
não.
and you know, he'll tell you
Pelo
more
que ele
about
falou,
his
tem agilidade
place in the
nela.
world and what he's interested in. And then just before we leave Metcomosis camp, I'll give another hint of what's happening.
Caio, finalmente
Part of what
temos
you'll
uma
find
mesa
in
de
his
massagem no
dialogue
jogo.
tells you that he
Uma
wants to
massagem
perform
bem
a ritual,
confortável, né?
and there's another
Puro
ritual
carinho
happening
ali.
at the same time. Metcomosis wants you to go to the site of the other ritual, which he's found a way to get to with a transportory stone, and stop the ritual from happening. So those of you following along with the story might have an idea of who's performing the ritual. You might be familiar with the location you're taken to if you've, again, been following along with the story. It is a new area. There is new content and an encounter to discover there. I think everyone's going to be really surprised and excited to see it.
It's really cool.
And it's a pretty big deal. And we've decided that we don't want to spoil it, so we're not going to show it now. I'm not even going to say anything more about it. Once you guys get on like, if you get on the public beta server, or you just wait for it to release, everything will become a lot more clear. I'm super excited about it.
Olha lá, aquelas
But here you
pedras
can
ali
see
que tem
we're
1000.
able to
Ele
put
pegou
the blood
daquele
crystal in this
rochifre.
portal to fire up you know,
Olha
a
aquela
portal that lets
armadura
you
ali,
go to
gente. Eu gostei
that
dessa daqui, ó.
location and
Chifrão.
check out something awesome. There will be a thing there for you to bring back to Metcomosis as well that'll get you some more rewards again. Similar to the bounty hunting event, how we had, like, you know, you could knock out, you could kill guys and get their skull and get a little reward, or you could knock them out and bring them back and get a bigger reward. We've got a similar scheme going on here where you can go out, find the crystals, bring them back for a small one.
Que vai
or
ter
you
de
can go get
gente
this
nesse
other thing,
local aí
bring it
no
back for a
começo,
huge
hein?
one.
There'll be new
Bruninho,
vendors,
safe, olá, seja
there'll be new
bem-vindo.
vendors here, I believe, at the
Novas
camp too, kinda similar to what we had with the
ferramentas.
headhunting event from last
Vai
chapter.
ser,
I
eu
think they
vi
set up down
várias
here
ferramentas.
already.
Não sei se é ferramentas,
But
o Bruninho,
these
tô
folks
achando que são
go to
armas.
Overwatch too, right?
São armas
So, you
porque
know,
ele
Yeah, that's right.
precisou
It'll be the
bater
same
no
thing.
rochifre
It's
que ele
actually,
matou
I
e ele
believe it's
pegou
even
esse de
using the
metal das
same
estrelas.
tables.
Então esse que
So
tá no
the
inventário
guys
dele
that you
são
could get last
armas.
time will be the guys that,
Novas
you could
armas
get
e
this time if
novas
you're getting for
armaduras.
all
Tem uma ali
sword
no bolso
method.
dele bem bonita.
And the things that you can purchase
Mas
are
acho
mixed
que
up a little
o
bit.
interesse, assim, pra
But
conseguir
yeah,
esses
it's, you
daí
know,
é
just
uma pedra
more incentive to,
vermelha.
you know, keep
É uma pedra vermelha que você tem
doing
que
the
farmar.
activities. Yeah, have some fun
Pra tá fazendo essa
collecting stuff and
armadura,
getting
essas
involved.
armas aí com
That's kind of the
detalhes
name of the game, is
vermelhos.
having fun collecting stuff, I think.
So,
Aumentou o
will
mapa
the
do
headhunting
Age of
event and like the
Sorcery.
activity itself
Caio,
persist even after, like, you know, once chapter 3
eu
concludes?
não vou saber te responder.
Like, what does that spell for like the
Não, se eles
Catan
comentaram isso, eu
folks
não
and the
consegui
headhunters and all
entender.
that?
Headhunting
Bem-vindo, Kyoshi. Boa tarde. O Adri queria saber quando vão botar a Red Sonja ou outros crushes da Kona.
It just won't be on as large of a scale.
Gotcha.
So you might see one of them. Headhunting might not be a great example. I think
Nova
that
DLC, então,
might not
beleza.
see the headhunting caravans come
Bruninho, eu
back
não
because
sei
they're
se é
kind
uma
of
nova
persistent.
DLC. Eu acho que são coisas que dá pra
We'll
você
have to see
fazer no
exactly
jogo
how they decide to
mesmo.
handle that. We might move it into a smaller area, but for the time
Porque no
being, the
mapa
headhunting
você vai
caravans will
conseguir
be
pegar
gone.
esse
That
material.
activity will be
Então,
gone and
muito
it'll be
errado, né?
replaced with this
Só
one.
quem tem o
We always
passe ou
want to
só
kind of
quem
have something
adquirir
new and
aquela
fresh for you
DLC
to
que
do,
vai conseguir.
but I also
Eu acho
don't
que
want
isso
to
daí
get
vai
rid of
ser
things that
liberado
people
pra
like to do.
todos.
So instead of
Tanto que lá
passing
onde eu
you this
aprendi a
like
religião de
reset,
Sete,
may see it
mudou
return
tudo
as a
lá. Ele
temporary
tava ali
event,
agora. Ah,
or it
ele
may
tá
come
aí, na
back as
verdade, né? E tem
just a random
vários
encounter. I think more likely
barraquinhas,
what you'll
uma
see is we'll
mesa
turn it on
de
for a week or two
massagem,
at a
igual o
time,
Caio comentou
and
aí.
we'll
Uma
just
mesa de
pick and
sacrifício
choose to
também.
mix
Tudo
things
lá
up
onde eu
to keep
aprendi a
everything
religião de
fresh for
Sete. Tá
people.
bem diferente lá
Can you
agora.
say where you currently are on the map if you want to recap?
Oh yeah, I'm at Mechcamosa Spire. You guys might recognize it from the past, where it was previously just this statue,
Ali, ó, aí onde eu aprendi religião de Sete, onde tem o Mechcamosa.
tower with a slab, and Mechcamosis was standing in front of it. So there used to be a slab right here where these guys are standing, and there
Como
was
mudou.
Mechcamosis standing right here, and he would teach you the set religion and a couple emotes.
É,
And
tá
now Mechcamosis,
interessante,
you know,
Bruninho.
he's moved a little bit, but he's right nearby. Still.
Will he still teach you the ways of set?
Yeah, he still has all of,
Eles
all
têm
of
que
that
mostrar
stuff.
agora onde é lá
He just has his dialogue changed
Cipita,
from
né?
what it used to be.
Porque lá em Cipita não tem um lugar fixo do Mechcamosa igual tem no exílio.
The other interesting thing on the horizon.
Which other interesting thing? The thing that's literally on the horizon?
Olha, ele tá olhando o sol, gente. Será que vai acontecer alguma coisa?
I don't. My no thoughts, head empty, Sangha and Banga.
As part of this event and as part of the
É
storytelling that's
loucura
happening,
minha ou tem uma bola
move that chat.
escura chegando no sol, gente? Vocês também estão vendo?
For a short time, while this event's active, you know, for the 3-month period
Ou é
or so,
impressão minha? Acho que é impressão minha, né,
there
gente?
will no longer be nighttime in the exiled lands. Instead, it will be replaced with what you're seeing on screen right now.
Você viu, Adri?
This is a key component
O
in the
Mechcamosa
ritual
deve ter
itself.
feito alguns empréstimos.
It's
Ah,
kind of
lá,
a,
não é
you
loucura
know,
minha não,
celestial
gente, olha lá.
alignment where the moon
Eclipse no
eclipses the
Conan.
sun, and during that time, instead of having full-on pitch black, you'll have this kind of red-tinged eclipse that hovers overhead and then goes away.
Que
And
bonito.
you know, when you're taken to a new place through the transportory stone to experience, you know, a new part of gameplay, that will be a part of that as well.
Que
So
legal,
nighttimes will be a little
gente,
bit
olha
brighter.
só.
You know,
Será
you
que
won't
isso
have
vai
the
ter
full-on dark for this
todo dia?
duration, but you will have this really cool eclipse in the sky.
Quando o sol levantar, gente?
What an ominous portent.
O mapa vai ficar escuro, o pessoal já não gosta da noite, agora o dia vai virar
A view of
noite.
the horizon a bit more so you can see it's not quite as dark as
Você
it was
viu,
before.
Gão?
We've got some
Que
awesome
legal, eu
red
também
clouds
curti,
that
ficou
fade into
bonito.
a cooler blue near the ground.
Imagina uma tocha da mãe
Well,
rubra
now I
vermelha.
can take off to Golem
É, lá ele
City,
tá
as
onde
I
o
have dubbed it.
Mechcamosa fica
Andy set
mesmo.
up some stuff for us to
Ah,
look
Golem
at.
City. Será que é aí que é a nova
And we
DG,
can talk more about
gente?
golems
Golem time, golem time, golem time.
and more. So everything we have set up here,
Essa daí é a construção deles, pelo
there's a
jeito.
bit of DLC stuff in here. Let me change the time of day so you guys can actually see as well.
Oh, I don't know.
Ah, ele tá dizendo que com esse eclipse vai possibilitar nova parte do jogo pela pedra de transporte. Ah, então é aí onde ele tá.
Do you know geographically where it is, like on the map, even if it's like in an
Olha lá os golem.
northeast area?
It's in it.
Because it's its own place.
I don't know where its specific location is. It is currently dynamically loaded for the encounter itself. It uses the encounter system. It's just on always.
Golem com jarro explosivo na
That's about all I
cabeça.
can say without really giving any more kind of spoilers. So,
I guess a better question would be to ask.
It exists in a place in the world.
Do you foresee its existence perhaps interfering with like modders' ability to like edit maps and stuff like that? I mean, obviously, they'll have to like be wary of it or like mindful of it, but like
if you have events, the Boolean for events like the encounter toggle disabled on the server, it shouldn't be even loaded
Okay.
So if you're playing on like Age of Calamitous server or something and you don't have the FUNCON events enabled, it shouldn't interfere at all. That's part of it, being dynamically loaded. If you are running, something more base game or base game friendly that has the FUNCON events turned on, depending on what you've made, it may or may not be in your way. We'll just have to see when the time comes.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Amag88. I hope that helps answer the question. But yeah,
sorry, we can't be more specific.
Yeah.
I just don't want to ruin it for people.
What's up?
Quick question. People are asking, like, what have we shown so far will be available on both maps or just lands or what?
Oh yeah, so obviously Metcamosis doesn't exist on the Isle of Sipta. So the journey system that we showed, what we're about to show with golems will be available on Sipta. But the narrative-oriented things that are like Metcamosis Spire, the new bit of content that you'll run into, those are only going to be on Exiled Lands, and everything else will be everywhere. So golem parts, crafting and discovering golems, all of the building stations and everything that we show, that'll be on both maps.
É um golem suicida mesmo. Ó, pelo que eu entendi, pessoal, a gente vai ter que farmar essas pedras vermelhas. E a gente vai ter que entregar lá no Mike Camose, fazer entregas lá onde ele estava. E aqui onde ele está, a gente vai conseguir vir quando tem o eclipse. É liberado no eclipse.
Yeah, that's on a stand, and then these three are active and can be commanded, and that's just on display.
Yeah, so
olha que legal,
I'll start in the
gente.
inventory because we have a couple parts in there. Golems are going to be a follower that you can craft, and they have 2 arms, 2 legs, a torso, and a head. And you can make different pieces to create a different follower at the end of the day. Each of those different pieces also have different attributes.
Nossa, olha a durabilidade, gente. 9.000.
Whenever you go into the actual golem crafting station. So this is a bench that you'll make the parts on, and you can see the recipes for the things that you can actually create. And once you create those pieces, you can bring them over to the assembly station, and it'll, kind of
Ó a mesa de massagem aí.
Put the pieces
a gente vai fabricar o golem.
And once you put all the pieces on, you'll have access to a ritual.
Pois é, isso parece as armaduras dos orcs do Senhor dos Anéis. Parece mesmo. A gente vai montar os bonecos, gente. A gente vai entregar essas joias, essa pedra nova. Aí o Mac Camose vai dar algum item pra gente. Agora eu só não entendi se esses itens e essas peças de armadura. Ou a gente vai ter que ficar fritar em algum lugar. Aí a gente vai nessa mesa e monta o bichinho.
Someone on YouTube asked specifically that, like, are you gonna let your golems harvest some resources? You ever think about that?
É, Bruninho, esses golems vão ser montados por partes,
You can see the parts he's made of.
Mas, o Bruninho, essas partes a gente vai ter que trocar lá no Mac Camose, né? A gente não vai conseguir craftar elas vão vir aleatórias pelo Mac Camose, não é? Cada parte tem um atributo específico, pelo jeito são lacaios. E pelo jeito são lacaios bem fortes, porque tem uma peça ali que ele mostrou tinha 9.000 de durabilidade. Olha esse golem, ele tá no nível 0 e tá com 9 de vida. 9.000 de vida, gente.
Yeah, so it'll tell me when I can't harvest something, and if I can move it there.
E eles comem.
Go into that inventory, and then they'll just go to passively pick up those kind of resources. So
ele
because he's looking for sticks, he knows
ele
that
vai
he can find
farmar
sticks and
galho.
trees, and as he harvests, his inventory will start to fill up with the things he's harvesting. So there will be more detail and more context on exactly
Vocês
what
viram?
kind
Ele
of stuff
pega
you can and
o
can't
item
harvest.
que ele
One thing people will just ask
que ele
automatically
vai
is, can they
farmar.
harvest star metal?
Ele coloca ali no inventário dele e o bichinho vai lá farmar, gente.
Before they'll harvest it,
É
but
meu
they will
sonho de
harvest it once it's
consumo.
actually
Eu
been
detesto
opened.
farmar.
Otherwise, we've got a whole swath of classified materials that you can put in there and have them follow you around, fight and
Mas
harvest
ele
stuff in there in between.
mostrou a bancada onde fabrica as
We've got
partes.
some more
Naquela
as well that
naquela
I'm not
bancada que
sure
parece de
exactly when you'll
massagem,
get
né,
to it,
Bruno?
but there is
Olha lá
probably
que legal,
more than is coming
gente. Ele
with
farma
golems in the future, and there's even more to
sozinho.
talk about with it now as well.
Cool.
Mas tem um ali que tá
So
segurando uma
this guy
espada,
right
então acho que
here
da mesma forma que dá
is
pra
what we
fazer
call
um
a tier 1
de
golem. So
farmar,
he's like the
ele
lowest
pode ser
level of
guerreiro
golem you can
também.
make. He's made out of stone. You can see he has the cool heart embedded in his chest. That's
É pra
the
quem gosta de
bloodstone
deixar seguidores
you would have
zumbi.
harvest.
Agora vai
He's
ter
thirsty for
seguidores
trees.
golem.
Yeah, he wants them sticks, boy. So you can see
He's
pick the
picking
stick
up
up.
sticks. Oh my god.
Já anota a
Love it.
pauta de vídeo.
Yep.
Como fabricar um golem.
Permanent or
Como não precisar farmar mais.
The
Galho.
golems will be here forever. They're here
Pedra.
to stay.
Yeah, that's a base,
So
it'll be a base feature with the
That's
game.
awesome.
Yeah.
you'll always be a way to find
Como
them,
ter pet de 9k
find
de vida.
how to create them, and do the activities required to allow them to harvest.
A de massagem onde
The
monta as
golems are not
partes e dá
baitable
vida ao
as a game
golem.
mechanic.
Anterior
However,
parece...
Fanfics are
Ah,
welcome.
I know,
sim,
yeah,
uma
that's
menorzinha,
up
né?
to you to do if you want
Uma
to.
ali
If
que
you want to
parece
role play as
de
your
armadura.
golems,
Sim,
that's,
sim.
that's on you. We're not gonna yuck your yum.
I'm gonna get this guy to stop following me, and check out some other golems as well. So this is
Eu quero
what
ver
we would
se...
call
Eu
a
quero
tier
ver
2
o do
golem.
jarro,
They're made
gente.
of iron, and you can see he's got a ton of health.
Olha lá na mãozinha,
That
tem
kind
uma
of brings me to
espada.
one of the next things about golems is they cannot be healed like other followers. Once you make them, they're made out of a destructible material.
Ó, vocês estão vendo aquela joia vermelha que tá ali no bolso dele, que tem 1k de joia? Aquele lá que a gente vai ter que farmar pra trocar itens como Mac
There's no way to
Camose.
heal them, no way to bring them back. They don't level like a normal follower, so their power is kind of static. They're just going to
Sempre
be what
pensei em
you see is
colocar um
what you
lacaio
get
pra
on that
farmar. Obrigado,
moment.
Funcon. É,
They've
também.
got another mechanic baked in that's kind of cool. So
Eric Vasconcelos, boa
he does have
tarde.
a lot
Seja
of health,
bem-vindo,
and
Eric.
you'll see various armor values depending on what you put on.
O Eric, pra
They also have a
resumir,
passive deflection
até
mechanic.
agora que foi a
That's
live,
like we
tem um
borrowed
novo
from a player
material pra
gets a rebound
farmar,
off
que é
of
uma
their
joia
shield.
vermelha.
So if you hit
Tem
a golem, there's a
chifre,
chance that
tem
the
alguns
shield,
lugares assim
they'll do a
que
shield
você vai
rebound.
farmar.
That target will get
Você
kicked
troca
back,
por
and then the
itens
golem will
com o
have like
Mac
a window of
Camose
opportunity to exploit that as well.
e vai dar pra
So their defense
fabricar
isn't just their
armaduras
health and
numa
their armor.
bancada.
They also have that
E
deflection.
essas
And the
armaduras
types of
você
parts you
consegue
use, and
montar um monstrinho, um
additionally there will be
golem,
another thing I'll
que
talk
tem
about
uma
that'll improve
bancada
that further,
de
but there are
fabricar
ways to
armadura
make
e uma
them
bancada
deflect
pra
more
você
as well.
construir esse seu monstrinho.
A couple
E
questions
esse é
came
o
up in chat.
monstrinho que ele farma. Até agora a gente
Golems
viu
have
que
to
ele
be on
farma,
follow
mas eu tô
mode in
achando que
order
esse
to
próximo que ele vai
autonomously harvest, or
mostrar,
can you just like set them and
ele
just like let
ataca.
them go on their own?
At the moment, they
Vamos
do
ver.
have to be on follow. One of the things that we didn't get to finish, but is almost done, is a way for them to harvest autonomously, where you can kind of leave them in a place and let them just do their own thing. But that hasn't been fully QA tested. We don't have a timeline for when that will be released, but I know that in the long run, it's a thing we want to do. Because eventually you will likely see some
Eu
of
também
all of this
gostei,
behavior
o
come into
Eric.
normal thralls too. I know that's another thing people will want to see is if golems can do it, why can't people? And for the time being, we want it to be a thing that sets golems apart and keeps them special. But in the long run, it is absolutely plausible that this winds up on regular
Something
E
humans.
gostei da aparência das armas também,
And then,
gente.
the other question that I saw.
Bem bonita.
Oh god, I'm blanking now. One sec, sorry. Oh,
you go ahead.
will these count towards your like thrall or follower count?
Yeah, they're normal followers, so they will count.
And so they get boosted by like the authority attribute as well?
They will get boosted by authority, but like I said before, they can't be healed. I believe, if I remember right, the things that would heal them otherwise boost their deflection. So they have a higher chance to
Metaverso,
make
seja
attacks rebound and take
bem-vindo.
more damage.
Gotcha. Okay.
Tô tentando, Metaverso. Tô
In case you
tentando.
couldn't hear, the question was
Com a ajuda do
when
Bruno
golems are
também.
destroyed, can you like salvage some of their parts or anything like that?
Right now, when they're gone, they're gone. They blow up. So he just falls apart and he drops what he had in his
Que
inventory.
dó,
There
gente,
goes
que
his axe
dó.
Fine.
But yeah, one of the things that we try to
Não
base
devolve as
the-
partes, vocês
around
viram?
a lot of things that
Quebrou
pull
já
from
era, só
one of our
fica
design
o
pillars is that
material que
nothing is
ele
forever,
que tava
essentially.
dentro dele, mas as
So
partes da
even when the
armadura
golem
não.
itself dies, we don't want you to just be able to take those parts back and put it back. We want you to have to go back and kind of go through that process of making them again. Just because it gets you out on more adventures, right? That's the primary thing. We want you to be exploring out in the world, going out to do the activities that
Tá
make
ótimo,
you feel
continua.
empowered and give you, that temporary boost in power.
Pelo
Until you
jeito
do
eles não
something and you
passam
have to go
level
back
nem
and get it
recuperam a
again.
vida. Ainda bem, né, Bruninho?
Yes, question from chat.
I was asking, can you...
Pessoal, pelo que a gente tá entendendo, que o Bruno comentou também, Esses golems, esses monstros aí não vão recuperar vida e não tem como evoluir. Mas também aquele que ele mostrou tem 9k de vida.
Parts as kind of reskins, essentially. So, one thing you'll see, I believe it's in the battle pass. I'll have to double check. But we have a version of the Iron Golem. Oh, sorry, it's
O
actually
capacete que ele tá usando é o mesmo capacete desse monstrinho dele.
It has like, it has green and kind of copper patina on it. And it looks like this guy that's right on the screen here, but it's the same items, but with a different skin
appearance. Yeah, I think there is a battle. I believe one of the I want to say the capstone reward for the battle pass is also like
We'll check it out and go through the rewards as they're set up now through the battle pass later. But that's the idea, that we make alternate versions of the parts, not using our reskinning system for them.
And for what it's worth, also you can mix and match the various like art quality, so you can put like a crystalline leg on like a stone torso with like an iron head or something like that. And you can actually see here on the stand that we have set up, like we have a couple different special parts.
Olha lá as partes que fabrica. Essa é a bancada que fabrica, gente. Eu quero ver se aí... Será que ele coloca jarro, gente? Olha a cabeça dele.
People referencing Dynamite Heady, which was one of my old favorites. I love that game, so shout out to those of you who called that out.
Yeah, I mean... Golems are a facsimile of humans. They don't have to be one-to-one recreation. So we've got some really cool parts that you can interchange with what would just be a normal head, and one of them is the explosive jar. So
jar for a head.
Another thing that might not be obvious at first is on this one, it not only has a jar for a head, but its torso is hollow, and it's an incense burner. And one of the things you can do with this golem is put different flowers in it, or if you take it a step further, you can put the powder of those flowers in it for a greater effect.
Eu também tô gostando, Coringão.
Effect around your character. So
bem diferente like, que veio até agora.
Deflection, add a health regeneration around the golem. There's like strength weapon damage increase around it. I can't remember exactly how many effects there are offhand.
There's a bunch. Like there's like 2 different qualities of various effects, and then there's like
5 or 6 different effects.
And then a second tier for each. Metaverso acho que vai ter mais de uma bancada. Porque vai ter essa bancada de armadura, a bancada onde você constrói eles, que parece uma mesa. Uma mesa de tortura. E pelo jeito, esse daí a gente vai ter que abrir pra colocar alguma coisa lá dentro. Tá vendo que parece que ele tá morto, ele tá pendurado? A gente tem que ter alguma coisa pra ativar ele, tipo alguma coisa que dê energia. Vamos ver, vamos ver. Ele tá comentando de colocar umas flores nesse golem. Ai, ó, umas flores. Será que é as flores de Gebal? Ah, não, mas tem que ser mais criativo, tem que colocar outro tipo de flor.
But it's essentially kind of just a little station that lets you display the automaton that you've created. You don't fully have to do the ritual, you just put the parts in and you can see.
Yeah, it's just the display stand. Like, yeah, it's completely inert.
Pelo jeito ele vai farmar.
Show off as like a decoration.
And this is a good way to show too how you can put, different pieces in.
Ah, lá ele tá construindo. Constrói aí pra gente ver.
There's a few different types of weapon arms you can put on, and a few different types of, I think a couple types of heads and maybe 1 or 2 types of torsos. Like the one that Dennis just put on with the purple eyes acts as like a light source for dark areas as well. That's its own like special head.
Yeah, I can do this and just have a little skim through all the different parts.
Olha quanta gente.
So some of these you can't craft and some of them you can. The crystalline ones, for example.
Ah, são as lotus. Vai ter que colocar lotus dentro.
They'll only come from drops in the world.
Interessante.
The sculptor NPC that's in
Como são vários tipos de
actually
lotus,
has a rotating inventory of parts too. So if you show up at different times, he might have a different piece to sell you. I believe it's at the cost of crystals themselves. And in addition to that, we also have coded parts.
Ah, lá tem uma parte de armadura que se chama lotus.
Effect, but something like
deve ser aquele tronco que tava vazio.
Crystalline Guardian Tar Head. Whenever you take that item and you check it out, should put it on the bench actually just so you can see here. It'll add different qualities. In combat, creates flammable pools of tar. So now if you apply a fire effect to those, you have traveling fire.
8.250 de vida, gente.
I want to say there's 2 types of coding, but there might be 3. Andy, if you want to look on that page, you might be able to find out the exact number.
Sorry, what are we looking for? I was looking at
coatings.
Types of coatings? Okay, one sec. Let me take a look.
Seria da hora se cada uma dessas um efeito diferente. Ô, Gão, deve ser alguma parte de braço que seja alguma coisa diferente. Porque tem braços ali, luvas, né? Que tem espada, machado, foice. Eu acho que tem diferença sim.
Yeah, so we have 2 coatings now, and then we may wind up adding more later. As with like a lot of the stuff you guys have seen come out in Sorcery, we try to make everything.
E tem umas armaduras que tem um risco preto lá atrás delas. Não sei se significa por ser mais forte, tem diferença.
And we have ideas for these things in the backlog that we can just reach into anytime and add new systems and new dynamics to the game.
There's a couple people in chat asking if there's an animation when you start a golem. If you want to slam.
Vai dar pra farmar com esses bots? Dá sim, Ítalo. Seja bem-vindo, Ítalo. Ele mostrou ali, Ítalo, ele colocou galho, ele abriu um desses monstros aí, ele abriu o inventário, e embaixo dá pra você colocar o que você quer que ele farma. Aí ele colocou pedra, o bicho ficou parado. Ele colocou madeira, o bicho ficou parado. Aí ele colocou galho, o bicho começou a andar e bater o machado no galho, numa árvore, e coletou o galho. Ele conseguiu farmar sim. Vai ter para o exílio também esse Incipta. Ítalo, exílio, certeza. Eles estão no exílio nesse momento. Incipta, bem provável que também. Mas no exílio, certeza. Olha lá, ele tá criando um monstrinho, gente. Que legal! Ó o monstrão. Olha lá. Ai, será que ele vai colocar explosivo? Não tem lacaio? A sua armadura? Sim, o metaverso. Você não precisa sacrificar nenhum lacaio para construir esse monstro, não. 8.295 de vida. É muita vida. E, Ítalo, não tem como recuperar e nem evoluir eles, tá? Olha lá, ele colocou Lotus dourada. Vamos ver o que ele vai aprontar. Digo, esse que precisa dar flor de lótus. Se cada uma flor desse é um tributo pra gente ter variações. Ah, sim. Se a FUNCON for mais criativa, tem que ser, né, Ogão? Porque senão todo mundo vai colocar Lotus lilás, Lotus vermelha, carmesim. Não vai fazer sentido olha lá, Lotus preta. Vamos ver.
I'll mark this as part of the work in progress status of this, but in the end, whenever it ships, it will have the effect along with it as well. I think it's burning it, but you can't see it right now.
Okay, gotcha. There's no effects on.
Are you in creative mode from the other show up?
I am in creative mode. There's the buff. That's right. Good point.
Oh, duh. Okay, yes. Thank you.
So yeah, you can see the passive effect happening there.
E esse já explosivo no lugar eu também gostei, Kátia. Dá medo só de olhar, né? Ele é cabeça quente, Kátia.
So see what flowers do you want?
Ô, Meta, e é um jarro explosivo, sim.
And then with this guy, like it said, he's got the explosive jar head. So whenever he dies, it'll drop the jar. And even though I killed him manually, you can see the jar burning and rolling around.
O jarro explode, gente, quando ele quebra o vínculo. Ah, mas só isso? Eu imaginei que o...
So I think that's largely golems.
O FUNCON, acho que eu criei muita expectativa nesse daí.
This is the super high powered golem. You can see he has insane health and armor. And he's set up to harvest rocks as it is.
Oh, that is a lot of health, jeez.
Gente, vocês estão vendo quanto de vida que tem esse guardião? 20 mil de vida.
As effective HP can be, but he also has that deflection mechanic on top as well.
Eu não vi quanto que ele tinha de armadura. O anterior tinha 300.
You saw that, did you?
Don't worry. Yeah. We're getting to those.
What about these rounded things?
300 é pouco.
Ooh,
that's interesting. So I guess we're probably ready to move on from
Colocar
golems, right?
incenso
I
na
think so.
barriga
Yeah.
dele.
I mean, if there's any other questions in chat, really quick.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
answer.
What's up?
What about the gold inventory?
Seja bem-vindo, Bidogo.
Oh, they behave normally. You know, they'll
Meu
follow
sonho
you
era
and
que
perform in
tivesse
combat. They just won't
mercado
be
no
able to
jogo
actually carry
interno
any more stuff.
desse para vender seus
So
recursos
I believe that
inventários,
harvesting will be
etc.
totally blocked at that
Ítalo,
point.
o
I don't think they'll just
máximo
leave
que
little
dá para
bags on the
chegar
ground
nesse
for
seu
you.
sonho
But it's
são as
definitely one of those two
pérolas,
things.
né? Pérolas. É o único, tirando as moedas, né? É o único item que dá pra você estar vendendo. E lá em Cipta você consegue vender aqueles relatórios, né? Lá com a
If
Valéria.
anyone didn't hear that, Nicole just said she's taking questions on other things as well, but she's only asking the ones about what we're talking about.
Yeah,
now.
about golems specifically. And I'm
O
taking a look at chat as
metaverso.
well. So we're
Ótimo
keeping
pra
track of what
PVP.
we
Teremos
can.
os homens bombas. Mas
Don't
só
worry,
uma
we saw
bomba,
plenty
será
of
que
comments
vale a
about like,
pena?
what are these rounded foundations? What are these rounded things?
O gasto que a gente vai ter pra
Can we have
fabricar
armor
esse
stands?
golem,
Like these golem
esse
stands?
bicho, esse
Huh? Can
guardião,
we?
pra ele estourar uma bomba,
What say you?
eu não sei se eu, sei lá, posso
say
estar me
yes.
precipitando no julgamento. Oxi,
In the time it took
que é
to ask
isso?
that question, we implemented that.
Yeah,
Kidding.
I just actually I
São
went in and I
modelos
checked
de, parece
checked the
bonecos.
checkbox that says armor
Right,
armor
press the
stands.
button, gotcha, yeah.
Yeah, this job is really easy. So
Oh yeah, we just press buttons and like things just come to life. It's fine. Yeah, it's the game dev's so easy.
É bom pra raid quando já é.
We're still
Vai ser
taking care of
bom,
some
aí
stuff
você,
on the
ó,
armor
você quer me
displays as
matar?
well. Like you'll
Vem
see
cá,
this one on the
bom.
female. There's a bit of an issue with the texture up on the chest there. And
yeah.
Obviously they have checkerboard loincloths on that won't be there in the end. We didn't want to not show this because it's so exciting. So do you have
in the other tent I have one dressed up already.
So
Gente, que cabana bonitinha essas que eles estão entrando, hein?
So all you have to do is you just dump whatever armor pieces onto your so I don't have anything of those things.
Sure,
certeza que vai ter essa cabana no bazar pra
I have other
vender.
things you can throw on
random things on here.
Gente,
Make a
que
different display.
finalmente!
There is a male and female
Vocês
version.
estão entendendo?
Currently,
Agora
they
vai
do
dar
not
pra
accept
gente ter
dyes or
na
illusions,
nossa base
but
um
because I think
boneco
we're going to be
monstruário.
we're going to have different
Tem
versions of
alguns
the
mods
mannequin
no
probably in
PC
the future going
que dá
forward.
pra ter
We want to
as
accommodate that,
armaduras.
so I think that you'll see a version in the
Mas
future
esse mod é bem
that accepts
pesado,
the
da
dyes and
lag e
illusions
tudo.
as well.
Agora a
We
gente
have
vai
a
ter
plan
no
for
jogo
it
até
already.
dos
We just didn't have
consoles.
time to
Que
get it right
legal!
now.
Or like with different poses or
Finalmente
something.
FUNCON!
So yeah.
So
Dismantle it.
an off request feature we know, and so that will be added.
Ó lá, dá pra
And I
gente
believe that
ver como é que fica.
this
Aí tem o
Should I
boneco
open the battle
masculino
pass
e o
now?
feminino.
You can, one
Interessante,
sec.
gostei.
And
Ó lá,
okay. And then I did see someone in the
Olá!
YouTube chat also.
E vai ser grátis, não vai precisar adquirir o passe, gente. Ó, no nível
Command
3 a gente já
Necromancer
ganha esses
armor.
bonecos.
Yeah. One thing we've been doing
É um
just because we think
porta-armadura
it's
metaverso,
cool
isso mesmo.
is
Vai
getting
vir
some
no
of the armors
passe.
back from AOC. You've seen a lot of them in game
Aquela
already,
arma, gente,
probably, if you're familiar with the game. Like the assassin,
o
barbarian
martelo de
armor,
duas
guardian
mãos
armors
vai
in
ter que
there.
adquirir no passe.
So we made that necromancer set as well. We'll
Mas
take
no
a
nível
closer look
3
at
já
it
vai
in a
ter esse
minute.
boneco, gente. Interessante. Finalmente,
I
né,
mentioned him a
o
lot on
FUNCON
the stream, but
colocou uns
Vidwan,
itens
one of our
grátis
artists,
legais,
put a
né?
lot of time into making that
FUNCON
necromancer armor
capitalista.
because in AOC it doesn't have a lot of really high detail, and we have to recreate it to put it in Exiles. So the 2D detail on it is very high, and it shows a lot of tiny little pieces. And he had to go through and actually give topology and geometry to all of those little tiny pieces. So again, big shout out to Vedwan.
Oh, and the big no spoilers thing, by the way, is it's just so like when you complete the battle pass, it like gives you like little like lore bits. We don't want to have those bits on stream because we want you to see those for yourselves. So it's going to be up.
For the sake of the stream, we have the whole
Mostra
battle pass unlocked.
próxima página, FUNCON. Estou curiosa.
No, we're not showing you our bits. Please.
Actually, the most important story points are not text, but they are hidden behind the no spoilers block.
Nice.
Excellent. Também gostei.
The mannequin here, I was just going to point out, it is a battle pass reward, and it's a free reward. So anyone can claim this, whether you pay to unlock the battle pass or not. Everyone will be able to play and get the mannequin.
Lindo.
And
eu mutei,
you
vocês
might
estão
think
escutando.
also, wow, what does that
Eu tô
mean
assistindo
for,
uma live em inglês. É muito ruim não saber inglês.
We will have other versions and
Eu
iterations
tô
of
assistindo
this
uma
that
live
are
em
probably
inglês,
available
conversando com a galera,
in the
mas
shop.
em inglês. Eu achei que a live dava pra colocar aquela legenda, sabe quando tem legenda? Não dá. Aham. Mas tá ficando legal. Tem 22 pessoas assistindo. Eu tô conseguindo no Embromation.
Sure. I mean, yeah,
Eu vou desmutar aqui, tá?
Maybe like the first 3 pages. For folks.
I love showing off like all of the backgrounds and everything too.
Olha a foto, isso é um
The
sol.
work that goes into them is
É
so
o eclipse
amazing.
que vai
And
vir,
it'll give
o
people something to
metaverso.
speculate
Ele
about what the
mostrou
story
o
is that's
eclipse.
happening. If you're fine with that.
I'm fine with that, yeah. In fact,
Vai ter um
maybe some
eclipse.
eagle-eyed viewers
Ele
might notice
mostrou
a reference to
muito
Aquarius.
bonito. Mostra o
Indeed.
sol e
Illustrations
mostra
from
uma
them, so.
bola escura
And,
chegando
you'll also
próximo ao
see,
sol e forma o
giving a
eclipse.
disclaimer again, there may be some stuff that's not
Não
doesn't
mutou,
have final
Paty. Ai,
icons or
desculpa,
in the
desculpa.
battle pass as we go through it. Just know
Salve,
that as
chegando
we go
agora.
forward.
Anunciar alguma DG ou
So we
complemento,
again
algum
have a
game ou
lot
só
of like sorcery
roupinhas?
themed items.
O
Really
senhor
try to strike a balance of how
Enhotep,
much stuff is specific
acho que
to
eu
the
falei
theme of the
certo.
age versus how much stuff
Mostraram
is kind of a
bastante
breather from
coisa.
people so they
Eita,
don't
gente,
don't
olha
get
esse baú
fatigued
aí.
from just having
Será que isso daí é só enfeite ou vai dar pra guardar o FUNCON?
all
Olha,
sorcery stuff at
camelo
the top.
novo. Quem usa
So
camelo
there's
FUNCON?
a
Talvez
neat
agora ele
shield.
usem, né?
That's based on that altar
Ó,
that
o escudo,
Necromosis
gente.
has,
Maneiro
where you can see
escudo.
the fire above the skull.
Chat's
or
going
face.
nuts for the camel.
I know.
Camel?
Yeah.
Hello?
So there's the camel. The camel right now is literally just a pack animal. You can't ride on this
It's
version
not a
of it.
mount, sadly. Yeah.
But it is a follower you can have follow you around with a good amount of inventory space. But we know everyone's going to want to be able to ride it eventually.
Oh. Yeah, the text here is different from what you actually get. What you're actually going to get is the creature that's shown here, not any kind of backflip or anything like that.
Yeah, there are some things that we have to replace,
Tava chegando
kind
agora.
of last minute if we can make those work or
O
not.
senhor
yeah.
Enhotep, eu já falo pra você as novidades. Olha a bancada lá, gente. Que legal aquela bancada.
Slow clap emote. Oh yeah, we have the previews for these now too, so it's cool to show the actual emotes. We didn't miss any other emotes.
Armadura nova que veio no mundo.
We'll show those. And there's a cool Turanian armor set.
Feia.
Yeah,
Não gostei.
a lot of the battle pass stuff also, and some of the things that you'll see in the bazaar as well are Turanian themed, and we'll go into that a bit too.
Olha aquela armadura que tava no bolso dele, gente, que tava com os chifrão.
Items.
Que legal.
You can punch the camel.
Well, maybe we can make that in the future.
O senhor Enhotep. Sabe lá onde aprende a religião de Sete? Onde fica o Camose? Vai ter, modificaram tudo lá. Lá vai ter uma mesa de sacrifício, umas bancadas. Tem um material novo pra gente farmar, que é uma pedra vermelha. Com esse material novo, olha, a gente tem agora até abanar ali, ó. Passar ventinho. Cachorro Android. Que massa. Vai ter eclipse. Bancada nova. Vai ter uns golem de pedra que você vai ter que farmar partes do corpo dele para estar fazendo esses golem. E esses golem em Hotep, eles podem farmar para você. Essa é a melhor parte. Gente, olha o cachorrinho. O Mad vai gostar desse cachorrinho Android.
This is really just, standing there waving the fan at someone.
Olha lá, o cachorrinho. Quem falou que no Conan não ia ter inteligência artificial? Inteligência artificial.
Horse. The blood crystal weapons are really cool.
Cela nova.
Yeah, I'll show them in a moment. But they have that blood crystal from the golems in the ground worked into them.
Essas pinturas FUNCON ninguém usa, tá? Só pra te avisar.
Really fancy. Yeah, this is the armor set that we're wearing on our character right now. Yep.
Armaduras dos golems.
There'll be other, like,
E essa expressão, gente? Parece que a menina tá chorando ali. Ah, ele não clicou.
No, so Gothmar, there's multiple types of specialized containers.
E esse lobo ali, gente? Esse lobo é do quem comprou no bazar, lembram? Agora vai vir grátis no passe? Quem comprou vai achar ruim, hein, FUNCON? Olha, mesinhas, gente. Mesinhas de bambu. Legal. Ó, expressão nova. Essa expressão é só pra quem adquiriu o passe, gente. Esse não é grátis. Ah, em Hotep, uma coisa que eu esqueci de comentar. Agora vai ter... Olha, gente, que maneiro! Só pra quem adquirir o passe, gente. E Hotep, uma coisa que eu não falei pra você no resuminho básico que eu fiz pra você. Agora vai ter uns bonecos que dá pra você pendurar armadura. Tipo um mostruário, sabe? Esses bonecos de loja de roupa? Igualzinho. E esse boneco você não vai precisar comprar o passe. Ele vai ser grátis, no nível 3. Acompanho o canal faz um tempão sem jogar, agora que tô voltando. Ai, fico muito feliz, ô Ihotep, em saber que tô te ajudando. Qualquer dúvida, você deixa lá nos comentários que eu sempre respondo. Olha lá o boneco que eu comentei.
We kind of gave it this sort of almost like subsurface reflection kind of look to make it look like there's a little bit of depth to it. And oops, I put the wrong boots on.
How dare you?
What am I missing? I'm missing one, the gloves. And there's that set, that necromancer set, with all of its tiny pieces.
God, man, that's a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Jeez.
I wasn't kidding.
I didn't realize, yeah, those gauntlets are just like, oh my god. Can you dye this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it should have good dye support as well.
Olha essa armadura, gente.
The artist I mentioned
Olha o
before is
chifrinho.
very committed to making dyes.
Essa armadura é do passe.
That's that.
Excellent. Each tooth is made of tinier teeth.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Armor stands can't be posed, right?
No.
Yeah, they're just that static pose.
Golems are free.
Yeah, one of the challenges I think we have also with those armor stands also is like different poses can like kind of warp the armor in different ways, so it's kind of a challenge to get like the right kind of like pose that sometimes doesn't.
Do filme é verdade, verdade.
Like one thing that was like
E Paty, o que tá achando? Rafael, tô gostando. Muito. Nossa, nem compara com o capítulo 2. O capítulo 1 foi legal, que veio as magias, e foi tudo novidade. Muita gente tinha parado de jogar Conan, voltou por causa das magias. E nesse capítulo 3, só de ter esse bichinho de pedra que vai farmar as coisas, vale por tudo. Eu detesto farmar, gente. Vai valer muito a pena ter esses bichinhos de pedra pra farmar. E sem falar que tem o bichinho de pedra com explosivo na cabeça que você quebra o vínculo e ele estoura um jarro na hora. Gostei. Kátia, doida pra saber da nova DG. Nossa, Kátia, tanta novidade aí que eu até esqueci. Da nova DG, é verdade. Cadê a nova DG, FUNCON? Cadê? Mata a curiosidade da gente, FUNCON. Olha essa barraquinha, gente. Vai custar um rim, 2 rins, pra você ter essa nova parte também, Turan. Ó a cela nova, a armadura que vai vir no passe. Olha aquele telhado. Bem provável que vai ser o mesmo valor daquelas peças novas de vidro. Que eu não comprei e me arrependi. Essa aí eu vou ter que comprar, gente. Vou ter que já anunciar meu rim hoje no Mercado Negro. Pois é, automatizar algumas coisas vai ser a coisa mais legal dessa DLC. Sim, Rafael, tô muito animada. Só tô torcendo pra juntar essas pedras vermelhas não seja tão difícil. FUNCON disse que o novo passe seria incrível em relação ao atual, confesso que esperava mais. Ah, eu tô curtindo. Eu curti. Olha aquele baú, gente, que legal, ó. Aqui, ó. Gostei. Mad, uau. Ô, Mad, você viu aquele cachorro Android no passe? E vai vir um lobo no passe, Mad, parecido com o lobo que o Kyoshi comprou. O lobo Aesir, bem parecido. A única diferença é a armadura. Em vez de ser meio estilo Aesir, né, com aquelas peninhas azul lá, ele vai ser estilo meio Yogita, vai ser com osso. Ai, essa barraquinha, gente, eu quero. Tem alguém comprando rim aí, gente? Eu estou vendendo o meu. Gente, aquilo ali é um bolo de aniversário? Ai, meu tô viajando? Aquilo ali é um bolo de aniversário.
Yeah, this mic just died.
The battery's dead.
Os golem protegendo as novas construções caras. Olha essa escada, gente, que legal. Queria alguma nova religião a mais. Precisa de mais deuses e criaturas. De preferência um foco maior em necromancia, já que os zumbis são meio fracos de aparência. É, eu concordo. Veio Zat, né, em Hotep. Eu tô falando seu nome certo? Em Hotep? É, veio Zat, não muito tempo.
I absorb all the...
Olha lá. Para de fazer propaganda desse novo item do bazar, o FUNCON. Fala da DG pra gente.
Around me into myself through my beard, and that's why everything just kind of breaks around me. I always blame Mercury retrograde, but then it's just me having a chaotic aura, so. We're waiting on an answer. Let's take a look. Lots of stuff in chat. I believe the new terrain pieces are good.
Olha aquela decoração com as pedras vermelhas, que legal. Na minha opinião, tá vindo bem mais itens do que veio naquele item do bazar da construção de vidro. Tem bem mais itens. Ah! Retiro o que eu disse. Olha lá, oh, nossa, gente, que legal. Olha aquela célula de rino, que eu acho que vai querer comprar.
New felines. Oh, we showed up a couple. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's just like that's the test environment bazaar, so everything rotates like super duper fast.
This is another case where you might see stuff that's not.
Já comprou ali, não dá pra ver o valor. Nossa, mas tudo isso de item vai ser muito caro. Vai ser o valor de 3 passe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sub-Zero.
This one's really cool. It has kind of different like praying or ritual oriented emotes. I love that one.
Love that Zara.
Mas colocar essas expressões junto com a armadura só pra aumentar o valor da armadura é errado. Eles deveriam vender só a armadura, gente. Quem quer essas expressões?
We can at least say public beta for chapter 3 is planned to go live.
Que é aquele FPO, gente?
The 23rd of February. For those who haven't been following along for years, we used to call it Test Live, and now we just call it the public beta because Test Live just never really made sense, and that was an old legacy name scheme that we've had.
Zat é uma divindade legal, mas poderia ter algum deus novo além desse. Sim, concordo. Quem sabe no próximo episódio, né? Porque a era Age of Sorcery vai acabar nesse capítulo 3, aí vai vir uma nova era. Talvez eles foquem em Avatar, em deuses, né? Em Hotep. José Joaquim. Esse tipo de escada é bom demais. Eu também acho. Ele muda, né, a aparência. Fica muito legal. Olha lá o FPO, gente. Mostra o que é esse FPO, FUNCON, por favor. Aê! É o gelinho. Kátia, que hoje vai comprar essa cela de rino. Vai, Kátia, sem dúvida.
Period. Full stop.
That's it. Yeah, it is really cool to see. I think that we talked about it a bit earlier in the show, but it's kind of cool to see the Age of Sorcery.
Olha, de tudo isso que eles mostraram no bazar, o que me interessou foi a construção nova aí, Turan. Pra quem tem a DLC Turan é legal. Agora quem não tem a DLC Turan aí é ruim.
Alright, friends. Yes, and marketing.
FUNCON, mostra de novo o bazar, a gente não acha horrível, não.
Thank you, friends. Well, I think that kind of covers it as far as...
Poderia aproveitar o peixão lemuriano como não poder. Ia ser interessante o Joaquim.
It's fine.
Seria adorável.
So I think that covers it as far as
Mas
like
será
things
que
we
ia
wanted
ter
to
que
talk
invocar
about
só na
for
água?
chapter 3.
Imagina,
We're
um
running over
avatar
just a
só
little bit
pra
over
água.
an hour, so we
Interessante, hein?
do actually have to get going pretty soon. We may be able to take maybe a couple questions if we haven't answered them, but otherwise,
Ai, gente, eu não sei vocês, mas eu não
we
curto
will
expressão, não.
maybe
Anda
look forward
logo,
to seeing you
FUNCON,
in the
tem mais
test
coisa pra
server
falar. DG,
and hearing all your
DG.
feedback.
Se colocarem deus de
Yeah, we
várias
probably
culturas,
were saying that there
até
will be
tem
more stuff in
samurais.
the update than we were able
Ah,
to do as well.
verdade!
Just hit the big points.
Sim,
Yeah, this
seria
is just like a preview stream. Like
interessante.
everything else, you will be able to actually like play with your own hands this Thursday. So any of your burning questions, I mean, just wait till later this week and you'll be able to answer it yourself. No, we're not. No pooping. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Age of Spinosaurus. That's spoilers.
Poderia
That's
ficar
the
igual o
next
Magikarp.
age confirmed. Yes. Every mob is replaced with Nicole in a dinosaur onesie.
Character transfers are still disabled.
Yes, yeah. Character transfers are still disabled. Yeah, still working out issues with it. We don't have a ETA on that, unfortunately. But as soon as we know more, we'll let you know.
And I mean, like with this patch, there's going to be a lot of bug fixes. It's not just going to be
Yeah.
these new things.
You're sorry. Yeah, since you're yeah, my bad.
Someone actually just said climbing fixed when. I think it's this update that's going to have a. I don't want to say it's a fix. It's definitely an improvement to climbing. So when your character gets to the top, they don't just fall off back to the bottom.
Oh, that's good.
I think it's this update.
Okay.
If it's not this one, it's age 2.
DG FUNCON. Cadê DG FUNCON?
But I think
We'll find out soon.
I think it's here. Update the engine, never gonna happen.
We've been over this. I think it's like every stream we've
yeah,
talk about.
It's kind of just a meme. It's just a meme at this point. But Exiles is not a simple Unreal Engine version. Like you can't just right click it and say change engine version. We have a lot of custom code in the engine code itself, which makes it impossible to just change the version.
Joaquim, mais legal dessas novas e que tem bastante parte redonda. Eu também gostei, Joaquim, essas tendas. Eu gostei bastante da tenda.
We look forward to hearing about all your questions or feedback about
tenda,
today's stream
o
on
detalhe da
social media or on the
escada.
forums. And of course, again, Chapter 3
Mas
will
só
be available
4
on the
peças, eu
public
achei
test
pouco.
server. This Thursday, the 23rd. Big shout outs to our support staff for helping out with chat today. Big shout outs to Nicole for hanging out with us, as well as marketing and producer folks helping answer questions live on Slack. And thanks to you, of course, for tuning in. I think that's about it for me. Thanks for helping, Nicole. Appreciate it.
Hi, bye.
Thanks, y'all. I think that's about it.
Yep.
We shall see you the next time and look forward to seeing you in game.
Bye.
Bye.
Não, gente, não, vocês têm que falar da DG.
Awkwardly change scenes. Wait, let me. Anyway. Bye.
Eles não falaram da DG, pessoal. Não falaram da DG e falaram tchau apenas. Ó o Eclipse, gente. Eclipse novo. Muito bonito o Eclipse. Eu gostei. A DG a gente vai ter que esperar aí, hein? Acabou o metaverso. Acabou. E não falaram da DG. Será que a DG não é agora? Será que a DG é pra quando acabar o capítulo 3? Pessoal, valeu por todo mundo aí que assistiu. Agradeço de coração quem acompanhou. Muito obrigada e até a próxima!